So if you've clicked on this video, then you've most likely seen the title, and that is going to be the next Call of Duty game, Call of Duty World War II Vanguard. And in this video, we're going to be discussing all the different leaks and information that we have recently got, and we're also going to be talking about my thoughts and opinions on this game. Now, I just want to start off by saying World War II Vanguard is not going to be the official name of this game, and that's just going to be a working title for it. So, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. I mean, that's okay. But anyway, a well-known leaker called ModernWarzone, most people know him by now, he recently released an article discussing the next Call of Duty game, and apparently it's 100% going to be made by Sledgehammer. It's going to be a World War II game set in the 50s, which is weird because that's after the World War. And to be honest, I don't really understand why we're going back to World War II. I'm not saying that nobody in the community is going to be excited about this, but I think the general consensus is exactly that. Most people look at World War II that was previously made by Sledgehammer and just think it was kind of genuinely a boring game. I'm not saying that everyone thinks that. Obviously, there's going to be people that like that game. But for me especially, I really did not like World War II. In fact, it is my least favorite game. So, me hearing this news about World War II Vanguard is really depressing. He has an obsidian riot shield. Oh my god. You freak. So yeah, hearing this news is actually really upsetting to me because this basically just means it's going to be another year of a dead Call of Duty game, essentially. Now, I don't really like Cold War, to be honest. I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't really enjoy playing it. I think it's a little bit boring. I mean, I'm on Modern Warfare right now. I mean, what do you expect? But honestly, I just don't really enjoy Cold War. So this year for Call of Duty is going to be a little dead, especially since this game doesn't really get updates anymore. And what does that mean for the future of COD? Well, I feel like Sledgehammer is probably the least favorite developer of most people. Definitely for myself. I didn't dislike Advanced Warfare that much. I actually quite enjoyed that game. But World War II, like I said, is my least favorite COD game. So I just don't really think Sledgehammer can make a truly good COD game. And considering they're making the next one, that doesn't really have me hopeful. And that's not even taking into consideration this could be a World War II game. I mean, I just think generally Call of Duty games that are set in World War II are just kind of boring. I mean, what is there that you can really do about World War II? I mean, you're kind of limited about the time periods, I would say. There's not really much, you don't really have much freedom like you would say with the modern era or the near future. That's why I think games like Modern Warfare and Black Ops 2 and all those different games are more popular, because those games are set in the present day and people prefer that as opposed to a game set in the past. Now, obviously, Black Ops 1 did really well. Black Ops Cold War, I think, sold quite well. I'm not too sure on the exact numbers for that. But, I mean, that's not exactly World War II. That's kind of like the in-between of the modern era and the past. So, I mean, well, it is in the past, but you get what I mean. I mean, especially Black Ops Cold War. I mean, have you seen the maps that are in that fucking game? But I think, honestly, we're at the point now where we don't need any more World War II COD games, especially for a decent amount of times. We literally had one in 2017 that didn't really do terrifically compared to games like Modern Warfare, what we're playing now, which is the best-selling COD of all time, by the way. And I guess Activision just looked at that success and said no, I guess. I mean, obviously, this game wouldn't have even been out by the time they were discussing this. So let's quickly summarize. The next Call of Duty game, Call of Duty 2021, is going to be made by Sledgehammer. It's going to be called World War II Vanguard, or at least that's the working title. It's going to be set in the 50s, and apparently it's going to be set on a fictional war, something that actually didn't happen. But it's going to follow on from World War II. That is generally the more important news to do with this COD game. That's basically all you need to know at a very basic level, is that it's going to be made by Sledgehammer. It's a World War II game. And just that alone really has me disappointed, because that makes me feel like this next year of COD is going to be really dead. It's going to be literally like the Infinite Warfare year, the World War II year. Things just where the game is just not doing very well in terms of popularity and hype, let's say. I hate to do this again, but I mean, let's have a look at Modern Warfare. I mean, does anyone remember when the reveal trailer for that came out and the immense amount of hype that was with that game? I think that hype definitely stayed for a long period of time with that game. That amount of hype was throughout the game, throughout the different seasons and that they released with the game. And then you've got Call of Duty World War II. The reveal trailer of that did really well, and that was because we just had 3 years of jetpack futuristic CODs, and people were getting sick of that. So to see pretty much the exact opposite, everyone was really happy about it, even myself. But the thing is, the game struggled to keep that amount of hype throughout its life cycle, and that's because the game, in my opinion, was just really boring, especially at launch and just throughout the game itself. It just wasn't a terrific Call of Duty game, and it just didn't live up to the expectations, in my opinion. And that's why I'm so disappointed to hear the news of this being another World War II game, because it's going to be another year like Infinite Warfare, where nobody's going to be really playing the game, and, you know, it's not really going to be hype. It's just going to be another year of hating on the current game, and, oh, this game is so bad. It's nothing compared to Modern Warfare, or even Cold War, and it's just going to be disappointing. Now, could I be wrong about this? Could this potentially be one of the best games we've had, or one of my favorites? Yeah, of course. I mean, of course I could be wrong about all of this. But, see, the problem is that it's a Sledgehammer game in a time period that did not do well at the time. So I don't see why it would actually do well or even be a really good game. So that's basically all that I have to say about this current COD game, really. I mean, that's pretty much it. Overall, I'm not really looking forward to the game. It's going to be another year of just not playing COD. I mean, I'm playing COD at the moment, I suppose, but I can't go another year playing Modern Warfare when there's no fucking updates. Release CX9, release a Psycho Pistol, release the RAL. I honestly don't understand why we still have to be doing yearly CODs, to be honest. I mean, if it was up to me, I would leave a full year gap between every single COD and just support the games for a good 2 years. I don't see why that would be a problem. I mean, if people like the current COD game, then they have more time to play it. And if there's a game that's coming up in the future, they have more development time, so it doesn't become a shit game. I don't get why they don't do that. It just makes so much more sense. Especially with Warzone being a thing as well. I mean, every single year in the future, we're going to have another integration to Warzone. I mean, let's be real. We all know it's going to happen. The Cold War integration happened, people didn't like it, and that's because it wasn't done very well. Now, hopefully, if they do that in the future, it's a lot more smooth, but they're going to do it in the future 100%. Whether it's going to be at the launch of the game or in the Season 1 of the game, an integration of the current COD game and Warzone is going to happen, whether you like it or not. And I think having that every year is just going to be ridiculous. I mean, think about it. There's going to be like 300 different guns in the game at this point. I mean, don't get me wrong, that amount of variety would be really cool to see. But at the same time, if every integration is going to be at the level of the Cold War integration, that's just gonna ruin Warzone. That's just gonna ruin the best thing they have going for them. I mean, I think it would actually be really sick. Imagine you have Warzone, you've got World War II era guns, you've got Cold War era guns, you've got modern era guns, and then maybe the next game is like a near future, like Black Ops 2 type game, where you have near future guns in the Warzone as well. That would be a really cool idea, and I think that's kind of what they're going for, is this like absolutely massive sandbox of a bunch of different COD games in one. But I think it's a cool idea where if you have the integration with all these different games, I think it'd be cool to have those games supported alongside Warzone instead of just adding the game to Warzone and then a year later just budding it off and forgetting about it. I mean, imagine if they did another 6 seasons for Modern Warfare. Imagine if they carried on supporting this game. They wouldn't even have to do seasons. They could just do an update for, I don't know, every so often for this game and just keep it in the loop with Warzone and all the other games. And I feel like that's what they're going for. If we go back here, as you can see here, we have the 3 main games. We have Warzone, we have Modern Warfare, and Black Ops Cold War. And you would think that, you know, both of these games on the side are being supported alongside the middle one. But that's just not the case. They've just completely forgotten about this side. And, I mean, it might as well just be this. It might as well just literally be this, the main menu. Because, don't get me wrong, I love Modern Warfare, but they've just completely forgotten about its existence. So what even is the point, honestly? But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Overall, I'm really not looking forward to the next year of COD. I mean, if this is true, at the end of the day, a Sledgehammer World War II game is just going to be really fucking boring. It's not going to be any good, in my opinion. And yeah, I hate to end it on a depressing note, but I mean, that's pretty much where we're at the moment. So thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.